Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It is a beautiful day outside. I'm in a t-shirt and I am headed to the plant store. So I'm a happy girl today. So I have a list, like kind of a shopping list of things that I want to get at the plant store. Just like a couple things here and there to kind of round out some projects that I have planned. But the big thing on my list today is to find something for my May blooming garden. So just as kind of like a background, starting in February of this year, I decided that I was going to plant a little collection of plants that were blooming for that particular month. So something that's going to bloom in February, something that's going to bloom in March, something that's going to bloom in April, and on and on and on, so that next year I have something beautiful to look at every single month. And so I just moved into this property last August. My last garden was like a very mature, completed garden. And what I used to do for that garden is I used to go around and I used to take note of what was blooming each month, just so I could kind of be prepared, so I knew what was coming. I don't know why I did it. I just was obsessed with all my plants at that garden. So I'm kind of referring back to that list. And for May, I have a list of a couple plants that were just blooming beautifully in May. So I have a couple of those in my mind. I just have to check and see if they're at the garden center. Hopefully they are. We'll see. If they're not, it's no big deal. It's May. There's plenty of things blooming in May. So I'm gonna get in the car. I'm gonna head to the garden center. Let me quickly show you the cover that I got for my truck. Oh my God, it's gonna allow me to get so many more plants right here. So Jason put this on for me. We just got this off Amazon. It wasn't that expensive. It was cheaper than I thought it would be. And I can come in and I can unhook it and lift it off if I have something tall that I need to put back here. But I'm just so excited because this is gonna protect all my plants, which is one part of the issue that I was having with having the truck. I had plenty of storage space, but protecting the plants was kind of an issue. So now I don't have to worry about it and I can get a lot more plants if I need to. All right, let's head to the plant store. Hi everyone, voiceover Janie here. I'm trying something a little different with this video with the voiceovers, so let me know if you like it or not in the comments section. I headed to the plant store and this is Green Acres in Elk Grove. They have about 7 locations, but this is by far my favorite. It's not even the closest one to me. I just love it so much. So for this May blooming garden, one of the things I like to do is look right in the front and see what they have displayed, and they have the star jasmine, which I loved, but I decided not to get, and you'll see why in just a sec. All right, I found it. I found what I'm looking for. So I am in the honeysuckle section, and I had honeysuckle at my last property and I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. What I had is this Hall's Japanese honeysuckle. Hall's Japanese has these white blooms that fade to orange. They smell amazing. The problem with Hall's Japonica honeysuckle is it does grow very, very, very quickly. And if you're not on top of it, it's going to get out of control. I know in some states, like I know definitely on the East Coast, you're not even allowed to purchase this plant. They're not even allowed to sell this plant because it grows so quickly. It's considered an invasive plant. Here in California, obviously we can still purchase it, but you have to be aware that it can get invasive. I just love it so much. It smells so good. Standing here, it just smells so good. So Hall's Japonica is like the Memorite honeysuckle, like what you think of when you're, I don't know, when I was a child, I thought of this type of honeysuckle. I remember I had it at my elementary school. I loved it, but I've made the decision that I'm not going to plant Hall's Japonica honeysuckle in this property just because this property is so big. I don't think I can keep it under control. So instead of Hall's Japonica, I'm going to go with something called Gold Flame honeysuckle. Let me show you a bloom here. So Gold Flame honeysuckle is not invasive, at least here in California. Honestly, I don't know if this is invasive in other parts of the country. I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen right now. But it grows a lot slower. It still grows quickly, but it grows a lot slower than the Hall's Japonica. You can see this one gets up to 15 feet. The Hall's japonica, I think, is 30 feet. Yeah, 30 feet tall. So big difference, but it's also just going to allow me to control it a little bit better. There's also this pink lemonade honeysuckle that I think is beautiful as well. And this one gets up to 15 feet tall also. So I know I want to plant some honeysuckle for May. Now, I have to show you all. The ultimate blooming plant for May for me is star jasmine. It is just the most wonderful plant, but I actually have already planted this in my garden on my espalier, so I wanted to do something different. But had I not planted that espalier, this is obviously the plant that I would have chosen for my May blooming garden. This is the May plant, of course. But since I already have that, I'm gonna go with the honeysuckle, and I think I'm gonna go with the gold flame honeysuckle because it's just so beautiful. And I'll show you where I'm gonna put it. I do wanna get a couple more things. You can see I'm getting some more tomatoes. I'm getting a zucchini because my family loves zucchini, where I'm only getting one. I'm getting a cucumber, some more basil, and also a pepper. This pepper is called Yolo Wonder, which I loved. I live in the county of Yolo. Davis is in Yolo County. So I just thought, oh, that's perfect. It's perfect for us in Yolo County. And then I want to get a couple more flowers, like I said, for other projects. But this is the main thing that I wanted to come here for, and I'm really glad they have it. I changed my mind. I was going to go with the gold flame honeysuckle, but I'm looking at this pink lemonade honeysuckle, and it is gorgeous. I can't get over it. So I think I'm going to go with the pink lemonade honeysuckle. I'm just gonna appreciate the Hall's japonica one more time because I love it so much. Ah, I love it. Look at this pomegranate. It's all pruned up. See that? I like. That I can do. That looks good.
Here's a look at my haul. I got some Dichondra Silver Falls along with these huge hanging baskets that I have planned for a project. I got some dark sweet potato vine, and then of course the pink lemonade honeysuckle. I am in love with this plant, and I am so happy with the plant that I got because it's huge. This new truck bed cover that we got, I really like because I feel like I can put things in the back of my truck now without them blowing out or without them, you know, getting ruined, getting ripped apart. The only problem is that I can't put very tall things in. So I had to put these tomato cages in the back, and they barely fit. So I ended up getting the ones, they're called monster cages, and they are huge. They weren't cheap either. I had to think twice before getting them, but then I just thought, I need some good tomato cages.
Okay, all done at the garden center. I fit almost everything in the back. The tomato cages were a little too wide. That's okay. I got the big ones on purpose. So I got some tomatoes, some indeterminate tomatoes that are going to get really, really big. And I think I'm going to put them in, not in the Vigo beds, but in the raised beds right in front of the greenhouse. So I wanted to make sure I had really, really big tomato cages just because I know they're going to grow absolutely huge. So I'm going to head home now. Hopefully there's not too much traffic. And then I want to get that honeysuckle planted, and I'll show you where I'm planning to plant it. Okay, back at home, I've got some gardening clothes on. Let me show you where I'm gonna plant the honeysuckle for the May blooming garden. But first, let's go take a peek at the chicks because they're just so darn cute. Hi, girls. I know. What am I doing? I wonder if they're scared because I have my hat on. Hi. Hi, girls. Hi. So just as a reminder, Hazel, Maisie, and Princess Fluffy Butt right there. They're so cute. So it's pretty hot today, and the bunnies are not acclimated to the heat. So they are back in the bunny bungalow cooling off, but these girls seem to be just totally fine. Okay, so back to the planting. You can see where I put the pink lemonade honeysuckle, and it's basically going to go right there. What I want it to do is I want it to climb up this frame that I have. So this is my office. This is the back of my office. I apologize, the air conditioner's on, but Courtney is in there working, so I don't want to turn it off. But when we moved into this house, this little office was built like this, and it had this frame here. And it was almost like they had planned to frame the back part in for something, and they just didn't get around to it. So I just have this kind of funky little frame like that. So for now, eventually I want to put some roofing on it, kind of like the chicken coop roofing, and the same thing as this metal workshop roofing. But I don't think that's going to happen this year, and I'm not in a rush to do that. I don't need to do that. What I want to do now is I want to grow the pink lemonade honeysuckle up this beam right here and up over onto the peak of the roof. Wouldn't that be really, really pretty? So the pink lemonade honeysuckle gets 15 feet tall at its max, and it should get pretty close to that. I think it's going to be really happy with this light requirements. You can see at this time of day, it gets kind of dappled sun. There are times of the day where it does get more sun than this, just based on where the sun is. So honeysuckle can handle, it says it can handle full sun all the way to partial shade. I think here where I live in California, the sun is too strong for it to get full sun. At my last property, I did have the Hall's japonica honeysuckle in full sun, but sometimes it would scorch, especially the ones that were facing west for the afternoon sun. So I think that this honeysuckle is going to be able to handle it really well. I know that Hall's japonica is the most sun tolerant of all the varieties. So I think because it's the pink lemonade, I think this is going to be a good spot for it. And it'll give it some place to climb, and I think it'll just be really pretty. This whole area back here is going to be my potting area, where it's going to be like my dirty potting area, and I'm going to set it all up. I have plans for it, but just haven't gotten to it yet because we're still in planting mode right now. But yeah, so I think it'll be a really, really pretty area. I'm going to hang things on the wall, like hang my tools on the wall and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be really nice. I'm going to get this planted, and then I think I'm going to put my vegetables in the raised beds as well today.
So this project started, as all projects start, with my auger and my auger drill. It is the Power Planter auger. It's the 28-inch long and 7-inch diameter. I will link it in the description down below. But I do have to say, look at the soil right here. My garden is so funny. I have spots of really great soil and spots of not so great soil. It's just the funniest thing. So I added some starter fertilizer, Biotone starter fertilizer, and then started planting the pink lemonade honeysuckle. I'm really excited about it because every May I'm going to be able to come back here and I'm going to be able to see some beautiful blooms, just like my star jasmine that I have in the front yard. And that's the goal of this blooming garden. A blooming garden for every month is that there's going to be something blooming every month of the year, and something that I can look at and I can enjoy. This pink lemonade honeysuckle, otherwise known as Lonicera hecrotii, hopefully I pronounced that right, it is what's called semi-deciduous. And what that means is in the cooler zones, it's going to lose its leaves, but in the warmer zones, it's going to only lose probably about half of its leaves. That's what usually happens with me with honeysuckle. It's hardy zones 5 through 9, and what I'm doing right here is I am unwinding itself from itself. So honeysuckle will kind of wrap itself around whatever it's touching, including its own branches. And you can unwind it as long as the branches are young enough, as long as they're not woody, and they become woody by the end of the season. So it's the type of plant that you have to stay on top of when you're training, because if you get there too late, you're not going to be able to train it properly. After planting the honeysuckle, I moved on to the veggies. You can see I'm taking the lower stems off of this tomato plant right here, and I am planting them in the back 2 no-till beds right in front of my greenhouse. I decided to plant the veggies back here in these 2 beds because you can see I have a lot of blooms that are early season blooms, like the California poppies, like the sweet peas, like the nasturtiums. With the heat that we're getting, they are gonna fade fast. So I figured I would just plant the veggies in between and slowly take out the blooms as they're done. And I really think I'll be taking them out in the next week or 2. I was originally planning on using these beds for cut flowers only. That was my original plan. I wanted it to be full of blooms and look so beautiful when I looked outside. But in my front garden, I have a flower field now. So I have tons and tons and tons of space for cut flowers. So I figured I could take a little bit of space for some veggies back here in this prime area where I get full, beautiful sun. Meet my backyard neighbor, everyone. I don't know her name. She's a little shy, especially with Monty around and barking, but I think she's beautiful.
Okay, all done planting. I've got the May blooming plant. Well, I should say this is one of them. The other one is the star jasmine. I'll show you that in a second. And this is the pink lemonade honeysuckle. It looks beautiful. I'm super happy with it. And I think it's going to grow pretty darn quickly up here. Up and over, which I think will be beautiful. And then I did get some of the veggies in. So what I'm doing, all these plants right here were direct sown last fall, and like the poppies and the sweet peas, they're going to be done pretty soon. So I figured I might as well plant some of my veggies in here. So once they're big, all the other flowers will be done. At least that's what I'm thinking. So I just realized I left a can there. I gotta grab that. I've got a Genovese basil right there. Someone told me I was saying that wrong. I want to say Genovese, but I think it's Genovese basil. And then I have the yellow red pepper. And then this right here is the jelly bean tomato, which I just thought was so cute, because jelly bean, right? Like I could tell my girls to go out and get some jelly beans, which is really sweet. And then of course the sun gold, which is just a classic for us here in my area. It grows really quickly. It's really yummy. They're just good tomatoes. Then I have a cucumber. This is a burpless cucumber. I feel like you guys can barely see what I'm pointing at. Right down there. And then finally, I have a green zucchini, one of those right there. And my family will eat all of this veggies. I think this is a good amount for us. Plus, we still have some more tomatoes over there, and some more herbs as well. So I think this is pretty good. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm going back and forth between whether I wanted to plant veggies in these beds right here, but it's just the perfect place for them. It's just such good sun. All right, let me take you out front and let me show you the star jasmine, which is what I'm going to consider my other May blooming garden. I can smell it even before coming around the corner. Oh, I love this stuff. So Monty's getting a little drink. So here is what else I'm going to consider my May blooming garden. And this is my Star Jasmine espalier, and it looks so good and it smells so good. And I can't not have this be part of my May blooming garden because it's May. This is what I think of for May. We did have rose bushes here, and the suckers are still coming back from the roots. We tried to get as much out as we could. God, that just seems like such a long time ago. But so I need to come in and I need to deal with that. So I will later, but I just wanted to show you this. It looks so good and I'm so happy with it. And this, like I said, this is May. So that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know if you all are doing the same as I am and making a monthly blooming garden throughout the year. And then let me know what plants are blooming in May for you. Because we're all different. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of everybody, and then everybody's, other people are way behind me. So I'd just love to hear. I think it'd be fun to hear what your May blooming flower is, or flowers, if there's a couple of them. For me, it's Star Jasmine and it's honeysuckle. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.